Hey folks, welcome back. Thanks again for joining us. Got a lot to go over this week, just like we did last week. And there's some pretty dynamic things in this presentation. The front end of this is sort of evidence heavy in terms of moving the needle on this conversation. I think we got some captures that really advanced the conversation a bit, so that's cool. The rest of it, equally dynamic captures, leaving us with tons of questions. And then it ends with something that's just really perplexing. But in any event, check it out. Hope you enjoy it. Feel free to comment and share this with anyone else you think might enjoy it and have some input. The more the merrier. Thanks. See you on the other side. Okay, folks, so this is a capture from, I don't know, a month or two ago, and we're reviewing it as foundation for something we're going to see in a few minutes. But look at the trajectory on this. It's like almost parallel to the ground. This launch angle it's not like it's going up. It's almost as if it spotted a target and took off. And so when you see a plane like this get buzzed at this angle, it seems to make sense optically. And this capture is just the other day. I'm not tying these two together. I'm just showing you for example purposes. I'm focused on the angle. So this is another capture from a while back, but obviously this angle is totally different, right? This launch angle is like up. This thing's going straight up, and I remember saying like, where is this thing going? And basically my thought was that when they take off at that low angle and they're parallel to the ground, they're targeting low planes, and so it stands to reason that when they take off at this angle, they're targeting high planes. Now we have evidence to support that notion. This is at 16,000 plus altitude, and look at this. You can't see much here, but once we zoom in and slow down, you're going to see what it looks like. So yeah, everybody is entitled to their own opinion on these things, but my opinion is that this is something that goes up and buzzes that plane from below, and the footage seems to suggest that it's on the other side, meaning the plane is in between the camera and the subject at over 16,000 feet in the air. And once you accept this footage for what it clearly shows, in my opinion, then other considerations like size and speed and all of that, has to be revisited. Uh, yeah, this is evidence. So literally, like in the last 4 weeks, we've captured and shown you this, uh, as well as this, and these are both low-level craft. And now we're showing you craft at 16,000 feet in altitude with the same sort of incursion. So the questions have to, surround what it is, where it's coming from, all those types of things, not is it happening. And speaking of which, I think that if we had a camera on that UPS plane, it might have captured something similar to this. That's why I'm putting this footage in here. And obviously, this is conjecture on my part, but I'm wondering if we're just recording the ground version of this type of footage. Okay, moving on. Last week, we highlighted this because it was just like chaos in the sky centered around this plane. And we captured something similar now with a helicopter this week, but even closer. Look at this. And when you see this in real time, it's like I said, it's just like chaos. I mean, and you don't have to look at any one thing. You can just take it all in because it's so close. And I went through this in frame by frame, uh, and you know, I don't know, half of these things are behind the helicopter, the other half's in front. It's just it's variable, but they're all over it. Is the point? These pencils are really cool and really really fast. And like I always point out, no sign of propulsion or stabilization or anything. This is this week's bubble video, meaning it was like on the bubble, barely made the cut, but it's an amoeba and they're different, so it made the cut. If you actually go back and rewatch that real time footage, you'll see it starts on the top left and actually looped around like a question mark. This one is cool. It's actually two pencils, but you're going to see one of them, the second one, basically runs down something else right here. And we're going to take another look at that because it's pretty dynamic. Captures like this are really cool. Anytime you can really highlight the speed differential with the footage itself, it's pretty neat. Like, you don't have to try to explain to anybody how fast these are when you see something like this happening. So last week, if you checked out the presentation, no doubt you recall this footage. And at the time, I showed you the cloudscape that was captured in, and I mentioned that I had only gone over a bit of it, and that there was more to find once I got the time to look. And so I took a little more time, and I found this. So this is actually the bottom right of that large cloudscape, and it's taking place at the same time that the one we focused on last week was coming up from the bottom. So in each of those three little sections we watched it go down, something occurs. And here's the first one from right to left. It gets buzzed right there. And the second one, something comes from left to right and swoops around it like that. And then in this third one, from right to left, it gets buzzed again, although it's barely perceptible. So, like I said, all of that was occurring in the bottom right in those clouds at the same time that this was occurring in the center from the bottom up, which we focused on last week. The rotor speed kind of tells the story here. So this one's sort of random, but you see it going from right to left. But then look, and so I made the point a couple weeks ago about like the layers of these things and looking deeper into your footage, and this is a good example of that. The other thing to point out with this is, generally speaking, the closer something is to your camera, the faster it looks, right? So this thing, even though it's way out in the distance there, is still moving. So that gives you a sense of the speed, or it should. These light ones are just tough. I mean, this is all fascinating, but it's it's just perplexing. And this one actually redefines perplexing. This ghost of a something or other just comes up from the bottom right and then hits a hard right turn when it gets to the plane, or it seems to. And then there's a fast mover that comes from the bottom, kind of a traditional, more dark one. But this cloud thing is just crazy. This is just, what is this? And whether it's up there near the plane or down near me, either way, it's unsettling, because it's like there's stuff flying around that our eyes don't even see, but it's actually there. Here's something similar from the top left that comes by. This one's more like, I don't know, like a translucent amoeba type. It doesn't look like a gust of nothingness like the last one. And I'm sure you saw, going from the bottom to the top on the right side, I don't know if that's coincidental that both of these like hard to see things are spotted at the same time you see one of these black fast movers. All I'm going to say about these nutterflies is that when we record prosaic insects, they're in every frame at 60 frames per second, uh, unlike these. And for the sake of completeness, we should point out this also happened in that same capture. And if you go back and watch it in real time with this in mind, you'll see this as well. This one's cool because it came from above and kind of came right down in front of this Chinook. I should also point out that this appears to split the rotors. And if that's the case, then there's a whole other set of conversations that have to happen in terms of these things' ability to perceive, their timing, their aerial agility, all kinds of stuff. Okay, we're wrapping this up with this. It's crazy. I mean, whatever this is, it changes shape, flattens out, does some weird little teetering move there, and then just bolts. You know, and listen, I'm the first one to admit this thing looks fake. It looks like CGI. Like it's cartoonish how fast it moves. I don't know what to tell you though, other than wherever this thing comes from, whatever it has these abilities and it's in our natural environment and it was caught on camera in the evening of July 19th, 2024 in Los Angeles, California. That's what I can tell you. All right, well, there you have it, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. And like I said at the outset, some dynamic stuff. I feel like I've seen it all, and then I record more, and then I see more. Like this last one we ended with. I mean, I have no clue what to make of that. Uh, it just reminds me of how little I know, and I think as humans, how little we know about our own world and our own environment. But I think it also requires us acknowledging our own ignorance in order to start growing and expanding our scope of knowledge. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, feel free to comment. Let us know what you think. And like I say, share these videos with other people you think might enjoy them. Talk to you soon. Take care. See you on the next one.